If you're a diabetic and you're getting started on your blood sugar journey and improving them, getting more balanced, I like that everyone starts with just a very basic approach to their nutrition. The biggest thing that you want to do is just first get on a good schedule, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and start cutting out those snacks. And once you get there, you're going to set the structure you need, and you can always get better, improve, which is why I talk about fitness, right? You always start with a beginner fitness approach, and then you get better and move up to the moderate and advanced exercises. So, same thing with nutrition. Start with the basic nutrition plan. And I'm a big fan that if no one is working with a practitioner or has that direct coaching or doctor advice to lead them, then a good place to start is more of a lower carb paleo approach. But rather than talking about any individual diet approach, I want to just clear up something. All diets out there are 80% the same, whether it's keto, vegan, vegetarian, whole 30, paleo, autoimmune protocol, whatever it is, they're all very similar. And here's the 80%. All good nutrition approaches out there are going to tell you to cut out all the crap and junk food, start eating whole, nutritious foods the way God made them, and have a variety of good protein, healthy fats, and healthy vegetable and fruit carbohydrates. So that's basically to cut out all the mystery between all the marketing and fad diets and everything. Every diet is going to start there, and that's where I want you to start. So you're going to come on just breakfast, lunch, and dinner, start cutting out the snacking, start cutting out all the grazing all throughout the day, and just set this structure. And then at each meal, to keep it very simple, I like to tell my clients to work in this order. What's my good protein? What's my good vegetable? What's my healthy fat? And then number four, everything else. If you take care of one, two, and three first, you're much more going to cut down on everything else, which typically is the unhealthy, not so blood sugar friendly stuff. So let me give you an example of how the average American might run out the door in the morning for breakfast. They skip protein, they skip vegetable carbohydrates and good vitamins and nutrition, the fiber, they skip healthy fat, they grab a coffee and a bagel, run out the door, and we call that number four, everything else. But let's reverse that. It's your breakfast. Hey, what's my protein today? Let me get some good organic pasture raised eggs. Oh, wow. Eggs have good protein. They have some healthy fat. Let me add some spinach to my shake. Let me use some of the leftover vegetables from last night's dinner. Add that with my eggs. See, now I handle this. Let me cook in some cold pressed olive oil. Let me add some avocado, a little bit more nutrition, a little healthy fat. Now, when I have these, I'm giving my body first what it really needs, and then I can entertain, if you're going to do it, the coffees, the bagels, the processed carbohydrates, these types of things. Now, obviously, I'm a health practitioner. I'm not going to tell you to eat these things to get better with your diabetes. But if you start with the basics, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, cut out the snacks. What's my protein? What's my vegetable? What's my healthy fat? And then, if you're going to have anything else, that's the last thing. And that's a great place for people to start. If you want more direction on what foods, the most basic is going to be more of a paleo whole food approach to answer one, two, and three. If you want recipes or meal ideas, that's a great place to start. And then from there, if you get progress, good. That becomes motivation for you to keep going. And then you can step up to the moderate and the advanced nutrition practices. I highly recommend people start there. And I want to give you this analogy to just lock it in. Would you ever go to the gym? You've never worked out before, and tell your trainer, I want the very best workout. I want Arnold Schwarzenegger's workout when he was Mr. Olympia, and I want to start there. Everyone knows that would be silly. You're going to injure yourself. It will be too hard. You're going to fail. Or if you get through the workout, you're going to be so sore tomorrow you can't even sit on the toilet and you're going to quit. That is a recipe for failure. Now, we all know when we go to the gym, we're going to start with the basics and we're going to build up based on your performance and what you're able to achieve. I can only lift 20 pounds. Now I can lift 25 and 30. You're not going to go from 20 to 100. And if the trainer did that to you, they're probably not a good trainer. Nutrition. People come to me and go, Dr. Mike, I'm a type 2 diabetic. My blood sugars are out of control. What's the very best diet? But with that perspective, why start there? That can be a recipe for failure. So I meet so many people. I've met over 2,000 diabetics over my career, spoken to probably over 10,000. And they'll ask me a question like that. And I don't want to be rude, but with that fitness perspective in mind, I have to think and ask them, what makes you think you can handle that? That you know how to eat that way, you know how to cook that way. When you go out to restaurants, you know what to order and not order. There's a lot of knowledge, practices, habits, letting go of old belief systems. All of this has to come into play for you to really execute on the very best. And that's again, a process of practice over time. So when I meet people and they go, and I ask them, how come you didn't make these dietary changes that you know is going to help you? What stopped you? And a lot of times they'll say something like this. Well, once I got diagnosed, I knew my blood sugars were high. I know I had to do something about it. I hopped online and I Googled and found that a classic ketogenic diet was looking like the very best dietary approach for my blood sugars. And here this individual is going from eating out fast food a few times per week, getting quick foods at lunchtime, never really having some practice at preparing whole food meals. And then now they're going to make a commitment on Monday. I'm going to start a full blown ketogenic diet. Now, for those with strong willpower, I'd say they can get away with that for about a few weeks, maybe even a couple months until they realize, whoa, this is unsustainable for me. Just like doing Arnold Schwarzenegger's workout on day one would be unsustainable for the untrained body. Okay. So same thing with nutrition. Come back to these basics. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Cut out the snacks. At each meal, I want you to think in protein, veggie, fat, and then everything else. Once you start there, see how you're doing. Now you can continue your knowledge, your growth, your progression, and move to some more advanced strategies beyond that.